Hi everyone, Corey here from Tales from a Polk County Girl. In this video, I'm going to be talking about something I've never talked about before. At least I don't think I have. For those of you that know me in real life, because there are several subscribers that actually do know me in real life, I love to write. I'm a writer. I have not been published, so I'm not a published author, but I've been writing since I was 4 years old. Stupid little construction paper books that my mom miraculously kept, and now I have. So that was cool. But since I was 4, it's been a dream of mine to publish a book. And last year, I started a new series that I started writing. I wrote the first book for it, finished it. I started it last June or July, and I finished it in January. And I work at a college, so I think in semesters. And this past spring semester and into the summer semester, I have been actively editing it and working towards seeking publication for it. So in this video, what I'm going to talk about is what my editing process is and how I came up with it. And if anybody out there is struggling or doesn't know what the next step is, I mean, there are lots of resources for writers. Maybe what I'm saying will help you. Okay, so manuscript done. And when I say manuscript, I mean actual manuscript, like to write by hand, because I write longhand. So I should have brought it out here, but mine is in a one subject spiral notebook that's got a Lisa Frank cover on it, because that's just what works for me. Some people they write on the computer, some people write on napkins, some people write in composition books. There is no right way to write a book. It's what works for you. Anyways, so after I've written it, gotten it typed up, and as I'm typing it up, I'm doing minor editing, and putting notes in about, hey, you need to go expand this part now. And stuff like that. And then I run spell check, of course. My first step in editing after typing it up, edit number 1, is I go through and I read for glaring, in your face incorrectness. Not only grammar or spelling, but just reading it and going, I don't think that's the word, because Word sometimes autocorrects. And there'll be a word there, it's like, that is not the word I meant to put there. So I don't know if I just subconsciously typed it, but stuff like that. And marking, again, I need to check this date, I need to check that street name, stuff like that. What other museums are around, the British Natural History Museum, stuff like that, because I could have told you what they were 9 months ago when I was writing it, but when I got to the point of typing it up, it's like, I need to double check that because I'm not entirely sure that's right. So that's edit 1. And then I go back through, and when I have my files, they're all saved. There's the title of my book is called Will Knit to Travel. So it's Will Knit to Travel -original. So that is the original thing I've typed up with very little editing. I don't even think that one's spell checked. Then I have it. I copy that, and I Will Knit to Travel -edit 1, where I've gone back and fixed everything. And then I guess this could be considered edit 2, but for me, it's edit 1 with revisions. So it's another, sorry, my throat. It's another file. It's edit 1 with revisions, which is where everywhere where I've marked with a Roman numeral where I've needed to expand something, that is when I've gone back and to expand it. Because that's just how it works for my brain. So technically edit 1 has 2 parts. It's a go through, get the glaring stuff, run spell check, and then a second copy where I do the expansions. I may need to go get some water. But that's all to me, edit 1. Edit 2. That is when I print it off again. And yes, I do print off because I hate reading on a computer screen. I really do. I do. Probably why I don't have a Kindle or a Nook. I call it my read out loud stage, and that is where I will sit there and read my book out loud to myself, to my house, to my couch, to my husband if he's listening. I sit there and I read it out loud to make sure it flows okay, that it sounds okay. And I'm also part of a local writers group here in my town. And when I mention that I do that, they're like, oh, that's a good thing to do. That's a good thing to do. And then once I do that, then to me, I get into beta mode. It's where I look for beta readers and pass it off to them. Now, ideally, that would happen after I've done my read out loud. But right now, that's not what's happening. Everything happened to coincide that 2 members of my writing group had time to beta read right now, so they got copies of the book, and I'm doing the read out loud. So I'm essentially doing edit number 2, read out loud, edit number 3, beta number 1, and edit number 4, beta number 2. They're all kind of happening at the same time, which I'm fine with, actually. I'm good. I'm good with that. And then that's where it gets to the point where after I get their feedback, I will go in and make the corrections, expansions, whatever their suggestions are. And then I will read it through one more time. I will do a second read aloud. And that's edit number 5, second read aloud, where I go back through, see how it is, and see how it sounds. Then edit number 6, I thought, I've actually just revamped my editing process after learning something yesterday, that you have your beta readers and then you have an alpha reader. I did not know what that was. I had never heard that term. An alpha reader is the last person to read your book before you submit it for publication. Like, it's when you're so tired of this damn book and you just want it published that somebody else read it to make sure it's okay. And I think I have a couple people in mind for my alpha reader, and it's just going to be if they have time, to be honest. And so yeah. So after edit 6, which would be alpha reader, that is when I will start. And while they're doing their alpha reading, I will be working on my query letter and all that, and looking at submission guidelines to submit my manuscript for publication. So, kind of a long rambling video for an editing process, but I'm going to go over it one more time without the tangents. Edit 1, glaring mistakes and note making of where you need to expand or double check information. Edit 1A, you make those expansions or revisions in your manuscript. Edit 2, you read it out loud. Read it to your dog, your cat. Cat probably doesn't want to hear it, but the dog will pay attention. You read it out loud for continuity, flow. How do you sound as a writer? Nope, I said no tangents. Edit number 3 and 4 are beta readers. So find you a couple beta readers. If you're not a part of a local writers group, I really recommend that you do that. If you have a friend who's an English major or a communications major, anything that has to do with writing, See if you can bribe them with cookies or something. I said no tangents and then I just did it. Okay. Edit 5. After you've made all of the corrections and all that from your beta readers and from your read out loud, you read it out loud again. And I may or may not wait some time between making those corrections and reading it again, because I know I have read somewhere that you should really just put it away for a month and forget about it so that you're not focusing on it. But that's completely up to you. I know there's some people that they just bam, 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 and it's done. Edit 6 is your alpha reader, preferably somebody who has never read your work but is in your demographic. So one of my friends is writing a horror novel. I'm not her demographic. I will beta read for her. I've told her this. I will gladly beta read for her. I may get a little squeamish at some of the stuff because she said it's going to be very graphic. But when it comes to her alpha reader, she is going to find somebody who likes to read horror. That's her thing. Or not her thing. That's their preferred genre. Is she wants somebody who loves to read horror to read her book. That is her alpha reader demographic. Mine's anybody that just wants a quick beach read or a weekender. It's a weekend book. So I'll talk more about that if anybody wants to know more about my book, please leave a comment below, and maybe I'll do a video about it. And then finally, after many a tangent, alpha reader edit 6, submit for publication. Now, depending on how fast you write, how long your book is, and how long it takes you to do some of these, you could have it done even with taking a break for a month or so. You could have this done in a year. You could. But then you gotta go through the trying to submit it part. And from what I heard, that's hell. So, but that's the process I'm using. I'll tweak it as I need to. And I just wanted to share what I do with you guys because I love hearing what other writers do, not only how they write, but what their process is. I actually have based my process on a Cozy Corner mystery author who I had the chance at a library conference to sit down with. There was a panel of 5 Florida authors, and one was a Cozy Corner mystery writer. So I submitted the question to the entire panel, but it was her answer that I really wanted. It was, what's your editing process? And hers was very similar. It's edit 1 is glaring mistakes. Edit 2, she reads it out loud. She only has like 1 or 2 beta readers. Her process is very similar to mine, but I actually don't think she even does beta readers now that I'm thinking about it. I think she reads it through 5 times after. Like, she'll read it through, any corrections, she goes and does it, reads it through again. Like, she does that 5 times, and then she sends it to her editor, and that's it. And her series has at least 15 books in it. I think she's actually getting up to 20 at this point. I don't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but it is a Cozy Corner mystery series set in Florida. So that works. So yeah, that's my process. And if you have any questions or would like to hear more about my other manuscript, please let me know in the comments. So thanks for watching. I'll see everybody later. Bye.